What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Footy with an Edge. I'm Andy here with you again for another live stream. I think with the international break, another one, believe it or not, here so soon. I felt like the biggest question that was on my mind is what signings are we gonna get in January to actually fix this team? Because I feel like right now we have a lot of problem positions in the team, right? If you look at the right wing back role, I don't think Mazraoui or Dallo are attacking enough to make that work. You could say Ahmad kind of works, but let's be honest, Ahmad is a 10 that's playing in the right wing back role and making it work, right? And he's really good at the pressing side of things, but he's probably not good enough in terms of every single thing that we want him to do, right? So let me just pull up the tactical board here. Yeah, there we go. Um, so we're playing Ahmad in this role, but I feel like he's not defensively good enough, right? Ideally, moving forward, we want somebody who's a little bit better than him defensively, right? I like to think of Malo Gusto at Chelsea as a great comparison for this role. Now, whether whether INEOS try to fix him in or fix this position rather in January is a different question, but it's still a position, in my opinion, for the squad that needs to be fixed. Because just like we have Mount and Cunha fighting for the left 10 spot now, right? Let me just put Mount back here. Just like we have Mount and Cunha for these two, this position, we should ideally, moving forward, have Mbumo and Ahmad fighting for the right 10 position. Because right now, there's absolutely no competition for Mbumo in the squad. And while he doesn't seem like a player that's going to sulk or drop his standards, we should still have competition for him moving forward. So this position is a question for me because I think. Let me just put the players in here. Sorry, guys. I have a bit of a throat. So we got Mazraoui here, and we got Dallo here, right? These are the competing players for this position right here. And then let me put Bruno back in midfield. And you could say we have Dorgu fighting with the let's put Mazraoui here again. And Dallo. Yeah, so technically speaking, you could say we have 6 wingbacks fighting for 2 positions, but realistically, Mazraoui and Dallo are kind of betting in there for, extra cover on both sides. So this is kind of just one player, right? So you can either say Dallo and Mazraoui are covering for the left wing back or they're covering for the right wing back. You can't say for both. So technically, our squad depth for the wing back positions is 4 players deep, and you could argue only one of those 4 is actually a wing back because Dorgu, for me, is the only one who is the profile of an actual wing back. Let me just read some of your chat. Let me just read some of your chat here. O'Neill TV says midfield and left wing back, Baleba, Anderson, and Mecha. Is that Felix and Mecha at Dortmund? Ian Matson and McNeil. Where does Matson even play now? Interesting question. Let's go to FBref. Ian Matson. He plays for Aston Villa. Okay. Interesting. Let's see. Is he on loan there or? He joined on a permanent transfer from Chelsea last season for 44.5 million. Yeah, so this is going to be a difficult one to do, even though his value is not as high as it used to be. He's in a position where we probably have to pay 50, 60 million for him. He is 23, and that's a good sign. But not sure how well he's going to work. But let's see his some of his stats. So on this profile, he looks like a very good left wing back because he's got a bit of everything, right? He's got the attacking stats and the non-penalty goals, the non-penalty xG, shots, and he's also got very good ball progression numbers with decent dribbling numbers, right? Lots of touches in the attacking penalty area, much like Dorgu does. Progressive passes received, which means he's getting on the end of the ball when he goes on the overlap. And progressive passes and carries a little bit lower. Pass completion is decent, and defensive numbers are also decent. Yeah, this is a good shout. I mean, who was it? Who was it that said it? O'Neill TV. If you guys wanna come and share your thoughts, by the way, I don't see anybody waiting in the waiting room, so please make sure you come join Discord. The link is pinned in the description of the chat window. Please make sure you come join, and we can discuss your signings. We can talk about how good or bad they are. And then you also said McNeil. Is that Dwight McNeil? He is 25 years old. I'm not sure how well this guy will work because he is more of a winger that broke through with Burnley, right? But maybe it's a different McNeil that you're talking about. Nonstop says we're here. Indeed, the squad needs additional better players, regardless of whether you're going to sack Amorim or not. Hollis says Ahmad is fine. Sub Mazraoui went ahead. Shaunak says Villa. Shaunak, do you want to join the call today? Let's give us your thoughts. And let me see. Let me read some more comments here. Matson is at Villa. Thanks for being so positive about United. We need more positivity right now. Yeah, absolutely, RK. I mean, look, my goal in general is to always share my honest opinion. So if I am being positive, it's not just because I want to be positive for positive sake. I actually want to be positive because I feel like being positive, and I actually see good things about this team and this coach. But I feel like the opposite is true sometimes when people are being negative for negative sake. I mean, people were Amorim out even before the Europa League final, and I find that really hard to believe. Like, guys, we've given him 6 months, and this is how toxic it's become that you want to just sack him after 6 months. That just makes no sense to me, right? And it's almost like people want to defend their own takes to an extent where they would rather be right than have the team succeed. So it's like, how many Arsenal fans have been Arteta out for 2-3 seasons now? And I feel like some of them are still Arteta out. And that makes no sense to me because you guys have, for Arsenal fans, you guys have a coach that's consistently getting you into the top four. Yes, you would like to see him take that next step and get beyond top four. But let's be real, guys. I mean, right now with the competition in the league as high as it is, getting into the top four consistently is no joke. You need a really good coach. You need a really good squad to even get into the top four and compete consistently. I would in fact go as far as to say that right now there's probably only one spot in the top four outside of Liverpool, City, and Arsenal, because Chelsea have the squad, but they haven't been decisive enough in getting all the positions covered because of their transfer strategy. And I feel like they haven't figured out a way to prioritize winning more than prioritize squad building and prioritize transfer profits or whatever. So that's the only spot that's up for grabs, in my opinion, over the next couple of years. We'll see if Slot and Liverpool kind of fall off, but with the way they're spending money right now, I don't see that happening. So, in my opinion, Arteta deserves a lot of credit for what he's done and how he's gotten there. And in Amorim's position, he might require the same amount of time to show us everything that Arteta is showing us at Arsenal. And Amorim needs a chance to get at least a full 11 group of players that he has chosen as his signings. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go as far as 11. I would at least say we need the wingbacks fixed. We need the center midfielders fixed. In that case, maybe our center backs can be okay. In that case, also, I don't think we need to sell Mazraoui or Dalot. Maybe they could be used as right and left center back as well. So we probably just need extra depth in the center back, or we need to make Euro or Heaven learn how to play the center back role as well, so that we have some depth for Delict. Do you like Hayden Hackney at Middlesbrough as a cheaper option in midfield? Interesting. These are some rogue shout guys. Hayden Hackney. Let's see, 23 years old. Ooh, damn, okay. He's got some good stats here. I mean, yes, it is in the championship. Pardon the ads, guys. Lots of ads on this freaking page. This is an interesting shout. He does have a promising profile, but obviously you have to take it with a pinch of salt because it is in the second division. And looks like he's a very good progressive passer, very good in the final third as well. Lots of shot creating actions. How tall is he? He is... Okay, the height is not listed here. This guy looks really good. Hayden Hackney. 1.78 meters. So he's a little bit shorter than 6 foot tall, maybe like 5'10", I think, or 5'9", 5'10". Yeah, he could work. He does look promising. I think he's obviously playing for Carrick at Middlesbrough, right? And he looks like an interesting shout. Looks like we have a couple of people waiting in the waiting room, so let's start bringing in some of the callers. We'll start with Shaunak here. Hey Shaunak, you're live on Footy with an Edge. Go on, give us your thoughts today.
Hi, Andy. Yeah, I mean, I think wing backs, as you mentioned, one of the main um, positions to fix in at least January. But I don't know because, firstly, because I have no idea because wing backs is sort of a specialist position. You can't really like we are playing Ahmad at right wing back, who's basically a right winger, and Mazraoui and Dalo can't really play those positions because they're fullbacks. So uh, I have no idea. I'm trying to go through like a list of maybe attacking fullbacks that I have seen on Football Manager and trying to uh, iterate over them, but I have no idea. Not gonna
Yeah,
lie. But yeah, wingbacks. Yeah, mainly wingbacks. I would like a bit more of a attacking thrust from the right side because I think Dogu he's good. I think he's the kind of profile that we need.
yeah,
But I would like a bit more of a 1v1 threat that allows us to progress the ball from the right hand side using just the technical quality of the player that is there.
yeah.
So yeah.
So give me even if you can't think of a player that's available, give me a style of player even if we can't get him right now that you would like to see. Like for example, I'll give you an example, right? For the right wing back role, I think someone like Jeremy Frimpong would be great in the system, right? Because he is great going forward. He's a very good dribbler. He's very technical on the ball, low center of gravity. You could argue he has similar problems to Amad Diallo, but at least he is a right-footed right wing back, and not a left, not a right winger who's left-footed playing at right wing back, right? So,
Yeah.
like Jeremy Frimpong could be one I could think about, but obviously we're never gonna get him because he's at Liverpool. He just went there. So tell me a profile of player that you can think of that would be similar, and then maybe we can find a player together.
Mm, yeah, Frimpong, definitely Frimpong um, is sort of the ideal profile in a sense. But yeah, as I mentioned, mainly me personally, I want someone who is threatening 1v1 against their left back. So that allows us to basically, the basic that of basically switching the play from left to right. That the
Mm-hmm.
threat that we have, it is good enough right now with Ahmad because he definitely is one of the better players in terms of taking his man on. But I would like a bit more of a, an attacking thrust from that side. So because like Dogu doesn't really, he doesn't take on his man as much as Ahmad does because obviously he's not a attacking player. So I would like a bit more of a thrust. I haven't like I watched a bit of Leverkusen under
Mm-hmm.
Alonso and Frimpong. He was basically the right winger and he used to take his man on. But again, that sort of a profile who is more of a winger rather than a fullback. But again, you need to have like a defensive capability there because you are basically the right side defender and you might be, stood up by like let's say Doku or someone like that. So yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. The thing with Dorgu, I feel like sometimes I wonder if I'm seeing the same thing that everybody else is seeing because one, and I'm not saying you're doing this, right, Shanak? I think you're being very reasonable with your points about Dorgu. My point with Dorgu is I think I'm very optimistic about Dorgu in this team, right? Really like he for being 6'1", he's extremely athletic, right? He seems to have a very good engine in his body, so going up and down, he doesn't seem to get tired. He obviously needs to improve on his decision making because he's still very raw. But when he puts in the rare times that he has put in the early cross, he does have a really good cross on him, right? So it's all about just making it work. It's almost like, if you had all of the parts for a Ferrari, but you just didn't know how to set it up in the right way, so it's functioning more like a Fiat. Right, and it's not quite the sports car yet, but over time you figure out exactly the order and the process of fitting them together, and then you have this Ferrari at the end. So I think the issue with Dorgu is that he's in a similar position to where Hoyland was, where Hoyland came into this team with not even one season of football under him in the Serie A, and he was expected to lead the line for a team that was garbage, right? And
Yeah.
Dorgu's coming into a left wing back role where United has never played a back three, so we're seeing that system for the first time. These players don't really know how to play with the left wing back, and he's also only got like one good season under his belt. So in my opinion, if we do get, like you said, Shauna, if we do get a more senior left wing back, maybe even somebody that's a lot cheaper for us, but used to be really good in his prime, that can play in that position, I could see that working very well. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with your take about Dogu because I
Yeah.
think he's one of the like bright sparks in the team because he, as you said, he has the raw material. Because as a left wing back, what do you need? You need work rate, stamina. You need to be able to, get up and down the pitch. You need to have like decent defensive ability, attacking
Mm,
contribution. So he has the raw materials there to be able to, basically lead sort of the left hand side mainly. And
yeah.
obviously I think he came from Lecce, who were basically in relegation in Serie A at the time.
Yeah.
So you can't really expect him to, come in and like be Alfonso Davis basically. So I mean
Yeah.
he does the basics very well. Get up and down the pitch, he wins the duels. He's like 6'1", so he's going to win the aerials.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean he's done very well. I don't really actually have a problem with Dogu because like not
No,
not in
and
the sense
I
that
don't think you did. I think you phrased your point very
yeah
well. You were basically saying that you want somebody with a
yeah.
slightly better profile, maybe more experience as well. Okay, Habil
But I think
was. was in the waiting room, but he's got to go. No problem, Habil. I'm sorry. Shaunuk was in before you. I didn't know that you were short on time, but yeah. 1 second, Shaunuk, before you give your thoughts. Kailami, if you want to join the Discord link that's pinned in the chat, here I can put it in for you again. Give me 1 second. Sorry, Shaunuk. Let me just do this. Somebody wants to join, so let me give them the Discord link.
Yep, no worries.
Kailami. Okay. Yeah. So, sorry, Shauna, go ahead. What were you saying?
Yeah, I think I think I framed it in the wrong way first time. I think I don't have a problem with the left wing back. I mainly want someone on the right hand side. You get me? Like
Mm,
someone who provides the thrust. The left wing back I think is sorted right now. I mean, obviously depth is needed on that side, but yeah, I think in terms of like in future prospect terms, I think Doggo is obviously. I think he's the one of the brightest sparks along with Euro. Uh, just the right hand side, I think right now Mbumo and Ahmad, both of them, I think the last game against Sunderland, I think they gelled really well.
yeah.
Few games they were attacking the same spaces, making the
Yeah, the
same
first few
actions.
games. Yeah.
But yeah, so now they're gelling a bit well together. So
Mm,
yeah, someone of the same attacking profile as Ahmad, which is this is going to be like I know it's like a huge task, but like someone with the same attacking profile as Ahmad, but who provides a bit more defensive capabilities. So
yeah.
that gives us because the thing is when we go from Ahmad to Dalo or Mazraoui, the drop off in attacking quality is so huge because Mazraoui is not going to provide you the up and down that like sort of Dogu provides. He can get up and down, but he's not going to, he's not that athletic.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
good in like
He also
yeah
looks
in
Mazraoui because of the body profile, I guess, body structure, whatever he has. He looks a little awkward when he has to like run after a ball to put in a last minute cross, right? If the ball's kicked a little
yeah
bit further forward of him, like you know he's not gonna get it. Whereas yeah, Jay, I'll bring you in next for sure. Thanks for joining the waiting room. And the problem I see with Mazraoui, which is I guess you could say similar to Dallo, is that they're not athletic enough for me
yeah
to find that last little bit of pace you need to put the cross in, right? And I would say
yeah
with Dorgu, the good thing is he does have that athleticism. So if you overhit it by a little bit, he's still gonna go get it. And that's the thing I
yeah
like about
and
Dorgu. And he's also a good dribbler, by the way.
Mazraoui
Like he can drop his shoulder and get beyond somebody, right? He's not Eden Hazard level, but he can drop his shoulder and knock the ball past somebody and then run after it. So I guess
uh,
Shaunuk, your point is that wing back is a much needed position. Hey Shaunuk, if you want to wait
yeah
in the waiting room, I'll bring in a first time caller in, and then I'll bring you back in right after. Okay.
yep no worries yep
Okay, awesome. Thanks
thank
for
you
your thoughts, for Shaunuk. Shaunuk says wing back is our main problem position. And we have Jay, a first time caller who's ready to join. And I'm just going to read a few of the um, chat, a little bit of the chat before I bring him in. Throne of Grace Ministry says, I can't quite get my head around the right wing back, but surely I would like us to have two proper CDMs and possibly return Hoyland to compete with Sheshko. We also need to strengthen center back. Interesting take. Kailami says Casado, Coop Miners, Peroni, cheap and available midfielders. Interesting point. Spliss Killer Brian says, "How are you guys, Brian? Come give us your thoughts. Join the Discord show." Tariq Lamptey in January. Demarco is old. Yeah, Demarco is old. And Nonstop says, I think United shouldn't go for known names, but look for underrated players like how you did for Laments. Once the squad is established, do a good position, then go for known players. Yeah, you're probably right. There's an argument to be made either way. in terms of known players versus unknown players, because I think we would all agree that going for Cunha and Mbumo was the right decision this season, because they were Premier League proven players, and we couldn't really take chances anymore with someone like Anthony or Sancho or the millions of players we've made mistakes with, like Alexis Sanchez. So I think this was the right call. And Sheshko, being not Premier League proven, is still seeming like a very good player. So that's also been a good call. So it's about finding the balance. Okay, let's get Jay into the show. Hey Jay, you're live on Footy with an Edge. Go on, introduce yourself. Tell us where you're calling from.
Let me pause the what's it called, the YouTube. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Is it sound fine? Because I only have like one AirPod and I don't know if it's
No,
working
you're
right.
good. You're good. You're good, brother. Go. Let's go.
All right, man. So what I think so far in terms of our positioning right now, I mean,
Tell us
I
where you're
think the
calling from,
overall
Jay. Tell us where you're calling from.
I'm I'm calling from Atlanta. I'm a college student at Kennesaw, Georgia. So
Nice.
I'm a big United fan, been supporting it for a while. And I'm not gonna lie, as of recently, like I'm the kind of fan that would wake up any time of the day to watch the games. But as of recently, I just don't feel like the quality, like what am I? Because I obviously I want us to win, but like I like to enjoy the football we play. And
Hmm.
recently, I just don't think that's really has been happening as much. We just don't play as good as football as you know other teams do in the Premier League. Like the other day, I was watching Crystal Palace play. They play the same 3-4-3. A lot of people keep saying that the formation it is, but there are actually a couple of teams who play 3-4-3 and are not. They play good football. So
Mm.
like I don't think it's the formation.
What is
Crystal Palace played.
just curious, when did you start supporting United?
I started supporting it. I started supporting United the last season we were good. The last season we were good, basically. So the season Man City won the league with that Aguero time against
Yeah,
QPR, and then
2012.
right after we won the league, and then ever since then, that was my last time I was seeing the heights with United,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay, so you
So ever
started
since then is
supporting
when I've
in
been
in
supporting them.
around like 2012.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so look, I'll give you my thoughts on the system really quickly, if you're interested. I think so. I was doing some research for the Sheshko video. By the way, whoever's watching, by the end of the day today in Eastern time, I should have the Sheshko video out. And I was doing some research on it, and the only team that has been successful in the Premier League, in terms of winning the title by playing the three at the back, was Antonio Conte's Chelsea
It's
in
Chelsea. Yeah.
2016 2017, right? And the only other team that's been successful is Thomas Tuchel, who won the Champions League in 2021, right? So
You
there's
know what those you
only
know what those two teams have in common?
they're both at Chelsea, right?
They
And
both have N'Golo Kante.
well, yes, that's true, but they're also both at Chelsea, right? And Chelsea under
Uh-huh.
Abramovich, both of those things happened under Abramovich. Chelsea at that time are basically a team that will, in a summer, just go problem solve and buy all the players they need for a system to work. Whereas United, the not only do we have the issue of us never having played in our history a three at the back, we also have the issue of all of the pundits who don't know their tactics if they hit them in the face, right? All of our ex players talking rubbish about how the system doesn't work because they don't understand it. Listen, it's very easy for me to say. I'm a vegetarian, by the way, just so that everybody knows. It's very easy for me to say that barbecue looks like shit, but I don't know anything about barbecues, right? I don't eat meat. I don't know how to cook meat. I don't know how to operate a barbecue. So what the hell is the point of me having an opinion about a barbecue when I don't understand shit about it? And that's how I feel about the pundits when they talk about a 3-4-3, because they wouldn't know those tactics if they hit them in their face. And so that's my overall issue. I think the teams never played it before, and the pundits don't know what to do with it when they look at it. They just see us losing and they're like, "Oh, back in my day, we were much better." And that's the concern I have. So INEOS probably made a mistake bringing Amorim in this early into the big rebuild that we wanted to go for, but they did bring him in. So that's why everybody gets on his back with the system, because they don't understand it. The pundits don't understand it, and all we hear in the media is the negativity about something we don't understand. That's what pisses me off about people who are saying the system isn't good enough, right? Jay, to address your second point, you mentioned Crystal Palace, right? Crystal Palace play with
Hmm.
30 to 35% possession, right? You can go check out their games. They play on the counterattack. You could say their players are not good enough to play anything other than counterattack. But the point still remains. If this team had to sit back and counterattack, I think they would be a lot better than they are. But if you
Mm.
watched the football under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we counterattacked for 3 seasons and we finished second with that team. And we had Greenwood and Martial and Rashford scoring goals for fun. We had Bruno having one of his best season in terms of goals and assists. But at the end of the day, we had a hard ceiling and we could not progress any further than that because we played counterattacking football, right? So the other stat I'll give you is, we talked about the 2-3 at the back systems that have been successful in the Premier League era. There's been zero Premier League teams that have won by just playing counterattack. I think maybe you could argue Leicester, but even Leicester had N'Golo Kante, Riyad Mahrez, Jamie Vardy. They were a good team, right? So maybe they did play counterattack against the big teams, but are we sitting here realistically expecting us to be like Leicester and win the league? Because that's, you have more chances of seeing a rainbow, a unicorn running through a rainbow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying we should sit back and play counterattack. I'm just, and to your point about like bringing in Amorim too early. I definitely agree with that because you're basically trying to change a team who is not built to play a certain style, and like especially with like the two midfielders we have. Like I think that's a very important part of like especially a two midfield formation where
Yeah.
one guy is supposed to be doing two guys' jobs basically, because that's what I feel like it's like someone like Casemiro is not built to
Yeah.
like right now in his career to like play that role. And Bruno, I know he has so many qualities. He can do pretty much everything, but not everything as well as we need to be in the things he needs to be good at. He's not like, you need to be like an expert at that side of the game
Yeah.
in a two midfield formation in a 3-4-3. That's why I was hinting on the two teams that have won the league in the Premier League with a back three, is they had N'Golo Kante and Matches. Like anybody who plays besides N'Golo Kante, like think about how much space you have to cover. Like
Yeah.
there's not another player like that. That's why I'm saying maybe like a Carlos Baliba. I don't think they're the same players. Like Conte is just out of this world with his ground cover and stuff. But like, yeah, we need players like, we need someone who specializes in certain positions like that. We can't expect to just change everybody's roles and their natural
Yeah.
ways of playing
Yeah.
and then expect, perfect results.
Yeah.
Like Bruno should be in one of the tens in my opinion, but I just
Yeah.
feel like if Bruno doesn't play, if he doesn't play in the midfield in a 3-4-3, I think Amorim is just scared that we have no one to like control the game. People say Manu should play, but like Amorim is a coach. There's no way he sees Manu in training and he's really that good. He can't control the game, and then he just
Yeah.
decides not to play him. There's
I
definitely a reason why Manu's not playing.
Jay, you're making some really good points. Let me just address some of them because I for those of you guys that are watching or just joining the stream, Jay is talking about the midfield being a problem area, and I don't think any of us are surprised by that. I absolutely agree with you, Jay. I think the problem we have is balance, right? Because he plays Bruno Fernandes in the midfield because he wants the progressive passing to come from Bruno, right? So getting the ball from this area all the way up to the forwards in this system needs to happen very quickly. The way the 3-4-3 functions, or the 3-4-2-1 under Amorim functions, is that the ball moves up vertically very, very quickly, right? So whether that's going from the center back into the wing backs into the forwards, or it's going straight from the center back to the forward, or it's going with Bruno dropping into the midfield and passing it straight to the forwards. So our best progressive passer by a mile in this team is Bruno Fernandes, and nobody can disagree with that. So that's what Amorim is seeing. That's why he keeps saying that Mainu competes with Bruno in the system, because unless Mainu can come up and do the progressive passing better than Bruno Fernandes, he's never going to start Mainu over him. The second problem we have is that Casemiro is our most experienced and only let's say, dedicated central midfielder that can actually work in the system. The problem he doesn't have the legs. So you see the two starting players that Amorim trusts, which is Bruno and Casemiro, they're both, let's say, missing certain qualities that would make them the complete midfielder. Like Bruno could be much better if he had Casemiro's defensive output and he had a bit more legs as well. And Casemiro would be much better if he had, legs. Basically, he's not in his prime anymore, and he can't run, he can't get around. So that's why we have this imbalanced midfield, and that's why it's going to be difficult for us to win the league with a team like this. I mean, even finish in the top four. And these are problem positions. So does that make sense? And I definitely agree with your point.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I would say maybe I think Dorgu is I think the left wing back. I think we just got to give Dorgu time. Like you were saying earlier, he's athletic. Like he has the
Yeah.
qualities of what you would want in a wing back. But the right wing back position, I don't know. I think Ahmad is in terms of attacking output, he's definitely gotten better in terms of knowing his role, and him and Mbuemo, like when he cuts in, Mbuemo goes wide. When Mbuemo cuts in, he needs to stay wide. Because like I feel like in the beginning, especially like you can look at in the Arsenal game, there was a time where I think Mbuemo was cutting in, and then Ahmad was also making a run on the inside, and it just messed up a very easy chance for Mbuemo. But now like I've seen in the games recently, like that's gotten better. But I don't think that Ahmad is like a natural right wing back. He's doing good for what we have right now, but I think honestly, Ahmad in the future, he should be fighting for the position with Mbeumo, and we need to bring in like
Yeah.
another right wing back. And I don't know if Amorim is still believes in the inside the left-footed right wing backs and the right-footed left wing backs. I don't know if he still believes in that route where he wants them to be always
Inverted. Yeah.
facing infield. Yeah,
Yeah.
inverted or facing infield. Because if he's not, then we'll have probably like more options, and like usually like some like I'm not saying we need to get Dumfries exactly, but like if we have two like wing backs who are like powerful and can go up and down the line, get crosses, and even get it on the end of crosses. Like look at
Yeah.
Inter. Like Dumfries scores a lot of back post headers. He's on a lot of those back post crosses because like with the formation we have, we always have a lot of width. We have inside forwards and we have players on the outside all the time. So I
Yeah.
was always thinking like we can also like create better chances that way, like finish get better quality chances, because what are the chances that Ahmad is going to be coming in at the back post and finishing on his right foot or finishing with a header? It's very
Yeah.
low.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like
No, I,
I was
I
just
agree with
thinking on
that.
stuff like that.
What you're basically saying is having the opposite wing back overload the box, right? So
Yes.
when something comes in on the back post, you have an extra man there that's gonna head it in. Actually, Conte's a 3-4-3 at Chelsea did the same thing where Alonso and Victor Moses were always in the box depending on where the ball was to provide that extra depth. And who was it in front of them? On the left wing, on the left 10, you had Eden Hazard, and the right 10, you had Pedro. And in the middle, you had Diego Costa. Right, so
And I
that was a crazy balanced team, and you in the midfield you had what Kante and Matic were the two midfielders
Yes.
that they had. So for us, we definitely need to go get some midfielders, and that's a great point, Jay. I really appreciate your call, man. Great first time call. Please do call in again. We're live on Mondays, Tuesdays,
I
and
just want to say
Thursdays.
one more
Yeah,
thing.
go for it.
So and another thing about that Chelsea team you're talking about was that they had somebody who could carry the attack. They had Eden Hazard.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that maybe Cunha. I feel like maybe Cunha is going to be that kind of player, like because
hmm
he's the kind of player that would just pick up the ball and drive forward and make things happen.
yeah,
And I feel like our fans needs to just give players like him time. Same thing with Mbeumo. Like the way this team is set up, um, and how new it is to everybody. Like if we give players a chance to find their role, and even the players themselves on the pitch start to realize who are the players we can give the ball to, like when we need to get out of a situation, who is the players we want to get the ball to get to the final third.
yeah.
Just the more they play, the more they realize these things. I feel like it will start to click, but like I just don't think our fan base or like United just you just don't have time at this club. Like if you don't succeed, they'll change you and they'll start
Yeah.
over. They don't care if
I
it's
think
so.
the only ray of hope for us is that INEOS seems to have a big ego. So I think that with them having backed Amorim to the hilts, so to speak, I think we have some sort of a chance that regardless of how toxic it gets outside of the club, with the media or the ex players, I think we have a chance that that he actually stays in the job for the till the end of the season. But anyways, Jay, you smashed it. Thank you so much. Please do call back again.
No problem, man. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, that's Jay from Atlanta. I have one point I want to address, and then I'm going to get Kailami in. Brian, I know you joined in first, but Kailami's a first-time caller, so I just want to bring him in. I hope you can understand. And we have, okay, so Edward Von Seth, when I brought up the point about Bruno being our progressive passer, he says, progressive passes is right, but also wrong. It's ball progression. Ball carrying can fulfill the same task like Barcelona's De Jong and Pedri do, and Baleba can fulfill that role. I think you are right in a sense, because it is about ball progression, and there are two ways you can progress the ball. You can either do it with progressive carries, so dribbling the ball forward, or you can do it with progressive passes. The point I would like to make is replacing Bruno, who is, let's say, only a progressive passer and can't really do the progressive carries, with somebody who can only do progressive carries and can't do the progressive passing, is not really improving the team, right? So I agree with your point, but only to the extent that we need to get a player who can do both. A player who can be good at progressive passing when it's necessary, and a player who can be good at progressive carrying when it's necessary. So let's make sure we get that distinction right. Looks like we have a lot of callers waiting to give their thoughts. So let me bring the first one of them in. Let's go, Kailami. Hey, Kailami, you're live on Footy with an Edge. Go on, introduce yourself and tell us where you're calling from. Hello. If you're on your phone, you might need to turn off your YouTube app in order to speak.
Okay, I think I have. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Introduce yourself. Go on.
Hi, I'm Kailami. Been a United fan since '94.
Wow, long time. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from right now. I'm in Mauritius, but I'm from Zambia.
Nice, very nice to meet you. And I think you are the first caller from either Zambia or Mauritius, so you're very welcome to the channel. And I'm excited to hear your thoughts on where you think we should improve as a team.
I think the previous caller is very level-headed, and I appreciate that your channel is very level-headed and not toxic, which I think I've been so drawn to your channel, because at least there is some sort of rational thinking. All the other channels are just clickbait titles and very toxic. Yeah. And I almost feel like I need to disconnect from that crowd, so that I can find people that are more level-headed and more grounded to reality in where our team is.
Yeah.
And also,
I appreciate that, Kailami, just real quick, because believe it or not, I get accused of toxic positivity, which is very funny to me, because I'm not trying to play some other character, right? This is who I am, and this is I'm being positive because I see positivity, not because I want to be positive, right? And I appreciate, I like that you see the same thing, and that you're part of this community.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, and I hope your channel grows so that it can reach more viewers and more fans, and
yes,
maybe we can translate that into the stadium as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, go on. So tell us, what's your problem area in this squad?
My main concern, of course, everybody has pointed out the fact that we need a midfield. But my thoughts is how we're going to get to a stage where the team is playing the way the manager wants them to play. Because if we see how Amorim started, and see how he's very pins in his legs, he can't get up, he can't look at the ball, things like that. That shows to me that he's either too frustrated or the anxiety is just way too high for him.
You're talking
And-
about Amorim on the touchline being nervous?
Yeah, Amorim on the touchline. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and for somebody who's that positive, I'm assuming because when I hear him speak, he's always very positive and assuring, which I like that as a manager. And I try to say to people that before Liverpool had Bob Paisley, they had to have Bill Shankly. And Bill Shankly never wasn't as successful as Bob Paisley was. But he dragged that Liverpool side, which was relegated, to a place where they can compete. And maybe Amorim is that guy for us. Maybe he might not be the guy who takes us back to the Sir Alex Ferguson days, but he's the guy to essentially light the fuse and let somebody else carry us to the finish line. With that being said, the biggest challenge that I see United have is three things. One is that we are addressing the squad in phases. And INEOS did not communicate that to the fans. Or maybe they did. I did not hear it, but they did not communicate that clearly.
They haven't communicated it. And if I may just expand on what you just said, essentially what Kailami is saying, guys, for you guys in the chat, is this season we fixed our attack. Apparently next season we're going to fix our midfield, and then by that time our defense is going to be bad, so we're going to fix our defense. So by the time we fix our defense, our attack's going to be bad again. So we're not addressing the big problems that we need to address, right? We probably needed to spend as much money as Liverpool did in this window, but we spent the money that we did with all the outgoings we had as well. So that's what Kailami's talking about. Did I get that right?
Yeah, and the issue that most fans have is that the INEOS are saying we don't have the money, but go out and spend. But also I have to understand that we are not in Europe, and we are losing about £5 million every week. We are not in Europe. So I have to also be rational and understand that it's a business. And maybe that's where Amorim has to be accountable, because he has to get us to a place where we're having Europe. It doesn't matter what version of Europe it looks like, but we have some sort of Europe with this current team.
Yeah.
And if realistically, when I look at the team, we need 4 players that if we're talking about January, 4 players that can essentially help the team move the ball quicker. And we don't necessarily have to go out to get players that after 6 months they are discarded as dead wood. We can get players that come the summer, we have decent squad depth, instead of doing what Arteta did at Arsenal, essentially buying players that he's going to discard after 6 months.
Yeah.
Which is not good for squad building, and also not good to create a team that is competitive. And also just financially, I would not be happy if we are wasting money like that. So with that being said, I think we need to maximize opportunities, such as Cop Miners, I think, from Juventus. He's having a shocking time at Juventus.
Yeah.
Shocking time. But he's been one of the Netherlands' best players. He was even playing ahead of Reinders.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah,
So
he's 27 years old. 27 years old, 6'1", at Juventus, like you said, £110,000 a week. And his defensive numbers are very good, but not so much his progressive passing or attacking numbers. Let's see, 2,500 minutes. Yeah.
But
go
right
ahead.
now,
Go ahead.
But right now, he's got better legs than Casemiro. He's got a better dribbling than Casemiro, and he's got that Martinez dog in him that if things are going down, he's gonna scrap, which complements Bruno, because Bruno sort of feeds off passion and like a fuse, and he's always trying to rile up the players around him, which makes him look a bit antagonistic, because most people tend not to be like that. But if you work with people that work off positive energy, they tend to be more abrasive or sanguine, like in nature. Anyways, Cop
Yeah.
Miners is one. Won't cost much. Apparently, there's fallen out with the Juve team and the manager. It's not gonna be expensive. Casado from Barcelona, with all their money issues they have, we can even swap him with Rashford. We don't even need to get any money for Rashford.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, Casado.
Let's see what his value is right now. Marcus Otto, right? 22 years old. How tall is he?
Is
He's
he
a
not
little
like
bit
19
short.
or something?
Yeah, he's 22, but he's a little short for my liking. And Barcelona would probably want a lot of money for him, so I don't know about Casado. Plus, he's kind of unproven at Premier League level, so the physicality and stuff would be a question. But anyways, I think Cope Miners is a decent shout because he's 27 and he's 6'1" as well. Because what Amorim, one thing Amorim has told us is he likes a powerful, good on the ball type of central midfielder, right? And obviously Bruno is not that profile. Casemiro used to be that profile, but he's not anymore. And that's why we were looking at Baleba, right? So I could get behind Cope Miners for sure.
And
Kailami,
the last
go
shout
for it.
is
Go for it.
the last shout is probably Peroni from Como. I think he plays for Como.
Okay. Perone. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, you
Peroni.
had put these guys in the chat. I do remember seeing your message before.
Yeah.
Peroni, how do you
Peroni.
spell his name?
He's got that funny E at the end, but it's Perone. Plays for Como.
Maximo Peroni?
Yeah.
Okay. Perone. All right. Let's see. This guy is 22 years old, 5'10". And okay, he's got good passing and decent tackling numbers as well. But
he essentially plays like Reinders.
Yeah.
But just he's Argentinian, so he's more like McAllister at Liverpool rather than box to box. So, and the rationale behind those two is that in the summer you can try to go for whatever profile you want, Baleba or whatever player you desire, but these two players are still gonna be starting. The drop in quality is not going to be that much when they are not in the team, because assuming we're going to lose Casemiro in the summer, we're going to lose who else? I mean, Bruno might go, we don't know, but essentially the midfield.
I think there's some news out here. I'm just looking at it that Maguire and Lisandro Martinez are not going to be renewed in the summer because Maguire is because he's not good enough, and Martinez because he's an injury concern. So it looks like we might need to strengthen in the center back position as well. And there were also links with Marc-Andre Ter Stegen as a goalkeeper for us. So that probably means we let go of at least one of Binder or Onana, and probably Tom Heaton also leaves. Right, so there's a lot of moving pieces within the squad, and we need to be concerned about that. But Kailami, honestly, great shout. I wish I could continue this conversation, but there's a lot of people waiting in the waiting room. But really appreciate your call. You obviously know a lot about football, and I like that you're somebody that's part of this community, because I think most of us here just want to be calm and composed and think about how we can improve this team instead of just losing our heads. Right, so I appreciate your call.
Before I go, I think Schlotterbeck from Dortmund is the perfect replacement for Martinez.
Nice. Great shout again. Left-footed center back. Left-footed center back who's tall. He's quick. It's a great shout.
See you in the chat.
Thank you. See ya. All right. Let's bring our next caller in. We'll talk to Rishi really quickly. Rishi, you're live on Footy with an Edge. Go on, give us your thoughts, and let's make it a little bit quicker today since we already got a few people waiting. Hello. Hey.
Hey, Andy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. So sorry, I was watching the show live, so I'm a little bit behind of what you're doing right now. What are we talking about?
I am just discussing the midfield options. The previous caller, Kailami from Zambia, who's currently in Mauritius, basically was telling us how the midfield options need to be refreshed, like the
I heard.
caller before him
Yes.
said as well.
Yes,
And
I heard.
yeah.
Peroni was a good shout.
Yeah, I think Peroni's a good shot. I think Coop Miners, you know, if it's a situation where we're getting like a 6 month loan for Coop Miners and you know, that's the best we can do, I don't mind that either.
Isn't Coop Miners like a 45, 50 million player? That's what they paid for him from Atalanta, right?
Yeah, but I mean, apparently he's fallen out with the coaching staff there. I'm not really sure. So if someone has a different opinion to give, I will agree with them. I'll have to look more into this, but my opinion, look, they just paid, what is it, 58 million euros to sign him last season, last summer. So he's already been there for 1 year, and by January he'll be there for 18 months. And his value has dropped significantly since he moved to Juventus, because now he's worth 35 million according to Transfermarkt.
Okay.
So I think a loan could be possible,
it's-
and I wouldn't mind that. I think he's a better profile than Gallagher, if you ask me, from Atletico Madrid, because Gallagher is too similar to Mount, in my opinion.
Right. But, you know, Andy, what I think is if a player hasn't had a good start to the season, when he comes to your team, he has to learn the system and he has to form that chemistry with the rest of the squad. That is present in every case. But if he's not had a good start to the season, right, personally, it's going to be that much more difficult to catch on. So, which is why I feel Joey Bierman at PSV is a better shout.
Okay, interesting.
He's had a
I did pull up his stats, and
barnstorming-
his stats look really good. But again, 1880 minutes. I don't know if that's because of injuries. And how old is he? He's 26, right? And he's been playing in the
He's
Dutch
26,
league. Yeah,
right.
he's been playing in the Dutch league for a while. So I would just take a slight pause with that. I know Italian league isn't like, you know, 20 times better than the Dutch league, but it still is better, right? It is a top league.
No, I hear you. I
Yeah.
hear you. But the only thing I'll say is Gakpo was a similar profile of player. I know he was 24 maybe when he transferred. He wasn't exactly 26. But
Mhm.
there's always good value to be found in the Netherlands, I feel. This is a kind of a player that you could go out and get for 25 million.
Okay.
Wouldn't cost the house, right? Everyone has shouts like Elliot Anderson, Adam Wharton, Carlos Baleba. These are all close to 100 million pound players.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it's been very clear for us, at least for us fans. I don't know about INEOS. Hopefully, INEOS has also learned that you think a player is fairly valued at 60 or 70. The selling club has him for 3 more years and he's very valuable to them. They're not going to sell you for 60 or 70. If you think they're 60 or 70, they're going to value him closer to 100.
Yeah.
And they're going to want favorable terms of payment as well. And what we've seen is these players are almost always on the peripheral, say the range of 40 to 50,000 pounds a week. You have to triple the salary, right? So not only are you betting a lot of your pot on one hand, which is this expensive player to come in, and we've seen, like you said sometime back, we should have spent 450 million pounds like Liverpool did this summer. I would actually say that we needed to spend that summer and then repeat it the next summer as well.
Yeah.
Because this is a £1 billion project, right?
Yeah.
Let's be fair. We've spent 230 million pounds and we've got a young goalie and we've got 3 very good quality forwards. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
But then you multiply that on 4 more players, that's another 250 million, right?
Yeah.
And then you add 3 more players again for at least 150, 200 million. That's close to 700 million pounds spent. So we need to spend all that money across the entire squad. There are at least 2 wing backs, at least 3 midfielders, because right now we have 4 midfielders and none of them is a perfect fit for this system, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to think in those terms that, okay, we might think that we need a Wharton or a Baleba or an Anderson.
We're
We're
not going to get them. Well, even if we need those guys, we're not, guaranteed not going to get them in January. Like that is a guarantee. People are
Yeah.
talking about, oh, Baleba is dropping a stinker. He's got, whatever. He got substituted at halftime 2 or 3 times. Guys, Brighton is not going to sell him for 30, 40 million less just because he had a few bad games. They're going to say, well, it's up to you to get the best out of him. If you want to sign him, that's the price. And we're not going to get Baleba in January. And Rishi,
It's the same with Anderson and Wharton.
Yeah, of course, absolutely, same with them. And those teams are doing pretty well, right? I mean, okay, not Forest, moment of
but the owner's a son of a bitch. That owner's a son of a bitch, so he's not going to sell them for cheap.
Exactly,
Anderson's not going cheap.
What do you think about Amadou Onana at Villa?
See, Amadou Onana is the kind of player that has had the makings of a baller, right?
Yeah,
for a long time. But
he's also 6'4".
Really delivered.
He's also 6'4". Got great physicality.
Yeah, the problem with Onana is he can do a little bit of everything. So he's got the Pogba problem, Is he more defensive? Is he more like an 8? Is he a proper CDM? Is he going to be Patrick Vieira or is he going to be Casemiro? He himself is confused. Plus, he's had quite a few spells out with injury. If I remember correctly, his first season in Villa, he was out for half the season through injury. So, young lad, I just feel that we've tried all these has-beens who've been, names like couple of summers back. That used to be our modus operandi back in 21, 22. Remember how long we were linked with Milinkovic Savic? How long we were linked with Telles? Sabitzer was a has-been at Bayern.
Well, you can even go
Leipzig.
further back from that because we signed Falcao in 2015, right? And then we signed what's his name, Ibrahimovic as well. He was also a has-been in terms of coming to the end of his career. So we've done that a lot.
No offense to the GOAT, but we did a kind of a meta joke when we signed Ronaldo, who was a has-been at our own club. Yeah,
that's true.
So we've done these rounds of people who've been the names in discussion. Amadou Onana was hugely discussed in 23-24, but we didn't go for him. Villa spent big money for him, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he's pulling up any trees at Villa.
Yeah.
So, fair shout, but I'm not so keen on Amadou Onana. He's going to come here on loan, be injured, not really, and we are going to think that, Casemiro is better than him.
Okay.
The problem with January is there's no standout name that you can go out and bring, because as bad as our midfield is, one could even argue that we are in desperate need of a right wing back.
Yeah. I think my point, Rishi, my point is I think we need a fairly competent midfielder to do a job in place of Casemiro if he gets injured or he gets sent off, which, let's be honest, the Chelsea red card wasn't his last red card of the season. We need somebody to be better than Casemiro or just as good as Casemiro with legs. And we're not forced to play Ugarte, and we need somebody who can do either the ball progression through passing or ball progression through carries in place of Bruno in case we have some other issues in the team. So my point is we need one midfielder that can come into the team, and I think it's a must. It's not even a nice to have, who is just competent. It's a short-term problem solving. So whether that's somebody that can come in for 6 months or whether that's someone who can come in on a 2-year contract or something that can do a job, that's kind of what we're looking for. So even if we get somebody that's the profile, if we get somebody who's the profile of, for sure. If we can bring in somebody who's the profile of Endo, right? Who cost Liverpool £10 million and he's been, let's say, really good squad depth for them moving forward. I would be okay with that because I understand the market isn't ringing any bells in January. So go on, give us your shout, and then I'll bring in the next caller.
Ruben Neves from Al Hilal.
Yeah, that's a
6-month contract. Yeah, but I'll tell you what, you go on to FBref, try to look at his recent numbers, you're not going to see them because FBref covers only the top leagues.
Yeah.
Saudi League is not covered yet. So you're going to see his numbers from the 22-23 season maybe. He's in the last 6 months of his Saudi contract. He's got a World Cup coming up.
Yeah.
So he wants to keep himself sharp by proving himself in Europe. Coming to United on loan isn't the worst idea.
Mm.
Might need like a 5 million fee to release him from his contract or whatever for a 6-month short-term contract.
Yeah.
But Ruben Neves, he's not really the fastest player on the pitch either. But I reckon he's going to be just as fast as Casemiro and also a few years younger than him.
Yeah.
Can do a bit of everything. In fact, I think if you want to rest Bruno one of these days, you can play Ruben Neves
No,
in his
Ruben
place.
Neves is a very good passer, and he's got a wicked long range shot from outside the box as well. He's a really good shout, and you know what? We'll be nice to the Saudis and give him Malacia for free, in place of Neves. But Rishi, great call again. Thank you so much for joining. I'm gonna bring in some of the other folks.
Thanks, Andy.
But yeah, frequent caller and Rishi. He also gave us a super chat today, so great to see the support from one of the boys. All right, let's bring in Lanre. I'm gonna bring in a few of the folks that have been waiting because you guys have been waiting for a long time. Let's bring in Shaunuk as well, and let's bring in Brian. So Kailami, Lanre, Shaunuk, and Brian, you guys are all live on Footy with an Edge. Go on. This is our final sort of group discussion. You guys have hopefully been listening to the call so far. What do you make of all the shouts that have come in? Who is your standout right wing back signing, standout left wing back signing, and standout center midfield signing for January? And I'll start with Brian. Brian, are you here? Hello?
Are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you. You're a little bit low though in terms of your voice, so if you can come closer to the mic.
Yeah, I've been with the flu, so
Okay, no
a
worries.
bit
Go
low.
on. Give us your thoughts.
I was listening in, and I think the midfield options for January are a bit low.
Mhm.
But I myself was thinking about Ruben Neves.
Yeah.
As a decent option. What I've realized a lot with Casemiro is that when he's on the ball, I get a bit uncomfortable. I mean, you don't need a lot of pace to have good game awareness. So I'm not really worried about the pace necessarily, but when it comes on to passing, I'm a bit uncomfortable because he seems uncomfortable with the ball.
Yeah.
Right wing back, I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't know. I think Ahmad's doing a great job. It's just who plays behind him is really the problem.
Yeah.
If it was me, I'd have just brought through that youngster. What is his name again? I don't remember.
At right wing back?
That yeah. From the youth academy.
I don't know. I have not been paying as much attention as some of you guys. But okay, so and any shouts for left wing back? Or do you even think we need to fix that position?
Oh, definitely. I was thinking Teo Hernandez in the summer, but United didn't go for him.
Yeah, he would have been
As
very
for
expensive.
Staples-
His salary would have been very expensive.
Yeah. Milan was selling him for what, 25 mil though. So
Yeah.
But that's
give
not
and take,
the
yeah.
age profile that INEOS are anyways going for, I think.
Yeah, I think Teo
Well, fair
Hernandez
enough.
is 27. I think, if I'm not wrong. Teo Hernandez, like he would have been a good. He's 28. Okay, yeah, he would have been an okay. Like let's say get him on a 3-4 year contract, and then he leaves because he's got very good qualities, and he's still starting for France, right? So he'd be a very good. Let's say, a senior player for Dorgu to grow under. But yeah, I don't think that would have worked out because he would have asked for a very high salary, and that's the whole reason he went to Saudi in the first place. So yeah, there's that.
It's just definitely a bummer because he'd be a good player. DeMarco seems suspect when it comes out to defending, so I don't think that's a good idea.
He's also old. I think DeMarco is already 30. So I don't think he would work. But yeah, okay, interesting shouts. Lanray, are you here with us? Can you give us your thoughts next?
Yeah, I'm here. There are two play. I mean, right wing back. I think we're fine because Mazraoui and Ahmad, they can lock that down.
Mm-hmm.
Mazraoui when we need to go a bit defensive. Ahmad when want to push them. Left wing back. I mean, it would be great to get someone in with a bit of experience so they can, mentor Dogu on that side. But I don't know if Amorim has that planned. Depending on if Martinez is able to be fit, then maybe he kind of swaps between Shaw and Dorgu as left wing back. Because I mean, yes, I know Shaw. I've been yelling at Shaw for the past 5 years. I mean, 5 games, but I think Shaw might have something to offer at left wing back instead of left center back.
Yeah.
That might not be that bad. So it'll be interesting to see. So I'm not actually too.
Problem with the Shaw shout, right? I mean, I don't mind it because he's played at left wing back before. He's played that for England, and he has been a really good left back when he was fit and firing. The problem with Shaw is we don't have any depth at left center back, right? Martinez is permanently injury prone. Even when he comes back, he's going to take 3, 4, 5 games to bed in. And Shaw is basically our only left center back right now, unless you want to play Euro there. But again, why would you ruin Euro's development at the right center back? And if someone wants to say Aiden Heaven, like he's still very young, right? So we don't want to put too much pressure on him as well.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. So that's why it's Dalo and Dorgu for now. I'm less worried about left wing back because I actually think Dorgu does an okay job there. I know attacking wise, Dorgu has a lot to learn, his decision making, his final pass, but he's active on that wing. He's actually quite good at receiving the ball under pressure, and he's okay defensively. He's not making massive defensive errors. So
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about right wing back and left wing back. My main worry is, what do we do with this midfield when we need control in games? Like, because Casemiro and Bruno are not tempo setters, and they're not players we can give the ball in midfield and they receive under pressure. So that's always been my concern. I was thinking of Amadou Onana too, but his injury, like, I think Rishi said his injury record is not that great.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much Villa would want for him.
Well,
But
they paid
Onana,
like 60 million for him. The reason why I even entertained Onana as an option is because Villa obviously have PSR issues, right? Like they're constantly trying to sell players to potentially generate room for other players to come in. So they might just look at Onana and say the same things that we have, which is injury history and this and that. So maybe they'd be okay to sell him somewhere between 50 and 60 again and just get their money back. Similar to what we did for Lukaku when we sold him to Inter, right? We paid like 75 for him. We sold him for 66 or something. So it could be a situation where it works out for both parties. But again, the question is, do we want to be investing 60 million on a player that, hasn't really lived up to the hype that maybe he could have with the physicality that he has? Lanre, you're muted. I don't know if you're trying to say something, but yeah, Brian, go ahead.
The player I was talking about was Bendito Mantato. That's the youngster in our U21s.
What did you
he
say his name was?
plays
Bendito Mantato?
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's a 17-year-old, if I'm
Yeah,
not wrong.
17-year-old.
Right.
This guy right here. All right. Have you guys seen him play? Like what is he good at? He seems like a slightly like, oh, he's okay, 1.8 meters, so he's just shorter than 6 feet, and he probably grows a bit more as well. So that's super interesting.
He's a similar profile to Giovanni Quenda.
Interesting. Is he left-footed? What foot does he play with?
I think he's left-footed.
I think he's. I've watched him play a few times, but I I think he's left-footed, yeah.
That's
Yeah, he's
super
left
But
cool.
footed.
is he right? Is he a right winger? I'm not
Yeah,
sure actually.
he's a
He
right
might
winger.
be.
That's what Transfermarkt has him as. He has him as a right winger, but let's to be fair, Brian did mention Giovanni Quenda, who is also a right winger. That was playing right wing back for Amorim in his system. So yeah, this guy could definitely work on with the right coaching. And looks like he's already had a goal and assist this season.
Before, you know, right?
What's that?
He's played in a fullback position before too.
Montado?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But they definitely have him listed as a right winger, and apparently he's played left back before.
Right.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, guys, we're already an hour and 16 minutes into the call. I think we got some great shouts today. Brian, thank you for your patience and waiting till the end, and Shauna, as always, for your thoughts and for being the first caller today. Appreciate your guys' time, and thank you so much for calling in. Hope you guys can call in again.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Shauna. Thank you, Brian. OGs of the channel, always contributing to make this community possible. So I appreciate all of you guys on YouTube as well. Thank you so much for joining. And we'll be back tomorrow with another topic. If you have some topic ideas or thoughts you want to put into the comments for this video, please feel free to do that. And I will try to do my best to bring it up next time. And I will see you guys tomorrow at the same time, 1 p.m. Eastern. Please make sure you join the Discord server. It is completely free, and you guys can all join and come give your thoughts whenever you need to. So yeah, thanks again for a great call. I'll see you next time.